He's not fallen just yet.
He's gone through to the final, actually, I believe. With Falls at the Falador, he was one of the last remaining players. So we're going to have a quick look at the 1v1 area, actually, I believe. There it is. So this is where the final action is going to ensue. And they're just waiting and biding their time until the final area has also been cleared out. And one at a time, they'll be given a chance, 5 minutes to just bank, get their stuff in order, change their spell book if necessary, and prepare themselves.
Here we go. You can see now the clan members are...
Oh, that's Wiggled going down.
Wiggled has perished. He unfortunately hasn't made it to the final.
Was he 87 combat?
He
was quite low.
And there we have it, the final 64.
Oh no, he
just missed out. Oh, poor him.
It looked like he was suiciding, though. He was out of the safe zone, taking constant damage.
Maybe he was sacrificing himself, like I said before, to make sure that other members that maybe were low on supplies could go through and allow themselves to rebank and go in for the 1 versus 1 stage. We're about to find out very soon.
All right, guys. Here we are. So we've just witnessed a rather hectic, I think, permadeath phase. We're about to move into probably even more hectic 1v1 stage, but we do have some quick words to say. Unfortunately, there was a series of apparently disconnections, and we're looking into this as much as we possibly can. Unfortunately, due to the nature of Deadman, these players that had disconnected during the tournament could not be brought in, and even if they could, they would have lost all of their items through dying. So this is the best we can do. We still have an incredible tournament ahead of us. This is potentially just a halfway point. As you guys know, the 128 does last a while. They get quite intense. We have the spectator mode coming up, and as you just mentioned, we have some really, really big names in this finale. Sorry. So I'm really looking forward to what we have coming up. But give me a quick recap, as I haven't actually been able to watch all of what's just happened.
We saw a couple of huge stalemates, both in Falador and up at the Demonic Ruins.
Yeah.
A large proportion of members that were split up into those two final areas were wiped out very early on, and then we saw them split and completely divide, like Moses has parted the seas in both areas. They're sat on each corner and obviously biding their time to see what happens. And then just right at the end, both teams from each side ran straight in, eliminated everybody. We saw Wiggled fall at the end, and that put them in the last 64 people in that area.
Notably too, we saw Falls doing very, very well. Oh wow, Mankt hasn't made it through. Has it just been announced? I believe he's fallen. Unfortunately, the previous demo mode winner has died.
What is going on here? I don't... Manked Up Mage eliminated? He did not make it through. Oh, wow. That's confirmed. I thought it was some crazy twisted joke. It's actually genuine. Unlucky. Previous Deadman winner. Sorry?
He was one person off.
You were one person away. Oh, wow.
No. You hate to see it.
You do. You really do hate to see it. Well, I mean, we have two left on stage who are still in this finale.
Yeah.
We have Curtis, and we have Waka and PB.
Both representing huge clans, lit as we saw in the Anakal area, absolutely dominating throughout, with Mika as well, another content creator, and a few others too. Curtis now able to represent them on stage, has a chance of that $30,000 grand prize altogether.
I wonder how well he'll do.
Definitely. I mean, he's not really known as a 1v1er, but he's shown that he wants to get involved, and he's enjoying it, so...
I've seen Curtis practice his 1v1s. His No Honor Bridding, he was practicing in Clan Wars for the duration, preparing up for this tournament. He's actually pretty good. He really knows what he's doing, and he's done so many Deadmans now.
Well, I think for a lot of players in particular, for a tournament like this, the nerves must get to them, but Curtis streaming daily for years now to audiences of thousands of people, it's just like a walk in the park for him. He's cool, calm, like I said before, just taking it in his stride.
Made of iron, isn't he?
And made of iron. He's enjoying himself, that's what's important.
And Waka and PB, as we've mentioned, one of the most prolific PKers in our game in history. For over 10 years, this guy has been one of the best PKers, especially in like the Bounty Hunter creator days. Some really incredible videos from back then. So we're actually really excited to see how he does in this. Representing Fools. Fools haven't taken a Deadman yet.
Yeah, and we haven't seen much of Waka on a 1v1 level. For many, many years now, obviously, and he's come in. He's come over from Finland to represent his team on stage here today. It's fantastic, and
I saw his earlier. I saw him earlier. I saw his gear, and he knows what he's doing. I have faith in Waka, actually.
His gear is phenomenal.
It is.
And one thing, obviously, earlier on we were talking about how certain teams have some hidden strategies. They've got some tricks up their sleeves.
Can we talk about that now? I guess.
Yeah, So obviously Blazers, I don't know how many of them have made it through. Obviously we saw Wiggle die right at the end. We've seen Manked unfortunately perish right at the end as well. But they were talking about how they've had a secret strategy of how strong Verax, a Barrow's armor set, with the Ring of Suffering, and then a shield switch. So they were planning on, in the 1v1s, using Verax, hitting with the flail, switch into their shield in between every attack to make sure that they take minimal damage. And then if they get frozen and they try and their opponent is farcasting them or bolting them from a distance when they're out of melee range, they're just going to bolt back.
And obviously Verax has a 1 in 4 chance of hitting through both defense and through prayer, which makes it such a useful thing to use in an outlasting fight where you have limited supplies and you both start the same amount. So it should be interesting.
Apparently they tested it for hours and it had around a 95% success rate against full Tribrid.
Right, and what that was also switching to a shield when you're getting hit.
Yeah.
So it's not just wielding Verax,
Oh, no, of course. There's still skill, and
retaliate.
obviously having to remember the defensive prayers too, getting them right as well, and being able to evade certain attack styles and certain combos. So.
Yeah. So I'm now actually going to head over and interview our remaining players on the stage. We'll do another interview post-show, but for the time being, I'm going to head over and I'm going to interview Bwakheim PB and MMORPG as they're still alive, still with a bit of a grin on his face. Bwak, how are you doing? How confident are you feeling going into this 1v1?
So far, so good. I mean, I'm against Mika. Oh, sorry. It's about to begin.
So you're against Mika, a content creator, really rising with this Deadman, creating some really fantastic content. How do you feel going up against him? Do you think you're a better PK?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm pretty comfortable with this.
And do you think this is going to be the Deadman tournament Fools finally win?
Oh, sorry.
Do you think Fools are going to win this Deadman tournament?
I think so. Yeah, I think.
All right, well, best of luck to you. You got a tough opponent. He's actually really geared out, so good luck with that. Let's head over to MMORPG. Now, Curtis, you've got the Mystic, a little bit of a gear disadvantage here. Your opponent has Arums, but he's a lower combat. It's Graphist.
It's Graphist. Me versus Graphist is going to be a great fight. Content creators. He's a level 102. I've got the melee advantage. We're going to try and take this fight, take his Arums, and then we can take some more wins.
Have you seen Graphist's PKing skill? I think he's actually pretty good.
Yeah, he PKs basically on his streams all the time, but I'm not too sure how he is with hybriding, but I guess we're about to find out.
And how much have you practiced getting into this 1v1?
I practiced a few tournament fights before this today. We're definitely getting a lot better, but I guess we'll see how it works in the real time.
All right, well, best of luck to you, Curtis. We'll join you again after you either win or lose. We'll figure that out eventually. And now we're going to make our way back over to the couch. Join these casters, guys. So, predictions. We've seen who's in the finale. We've seen the two players still on stage that could take this home. What are your predictions?
I'm going to...
Go on, after you, Ben.
Thanks, Elliot. I'm going to stick with my initial prediction that with the info that I had from before, from the display of talent that's been showcased throughout the whole tournament, I think Fools are going to take it, and I think in particular Bwak is going to be the final person to stand.
You think Bwak
Really?
is going to win
I think he's going to go for it, yeah. He's got a very confident look on him. He's calm, collected.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say.
That's what it means.
He seems very confident.
Some people mistake confidence with arrogance, but that was just pure confidence.
Yeah,
right there.
he was like...
And I believe in him.
He's cool as a cucumber.
He is.
So
I think Curtis is going to win.
Really? If you can go far?
it
I
would
don't
be
know.
incredible.
He's got Mystic, but if he can get the gear upgrade,
That's it.
and if
He's against Graphis in the first round, isn't he? And he's a much higher combat level than him. So if Graphis does have gear that he needs, that could be a huge momentum swing for him to push him further through the 1v1 stage.
Although Graphis, like Curtis did point out, does PK a lot, he doesn't tend to do much tri-breeding. He doesn't tend to do much of the no-honor overhead stuff.
Even on a main account, he has mostly pures that he plays on every day in Edgeville. So definitely new territory to him as well as Curtis.
Exactly. So I think this is, like I said, even though Graphis is more experienced in the player versus player content, I think Curtis is higher combat level, and they're both lacking experience in the tri-breeding department. So I think Curtis is actually going to take this one over Graphist. But I think on stage, Bwakheim PB out of the two is certainly going to go the furthest, and it's good to see how confident he is.
Yeah.
I think Fools are going to win this.
You think Fools are going to win this?
Yeah.
Well, we said earlier they have like 7 or 8 suffering rings, just saying, again, adding to how overpowered they are and how strong they are and how much benefit they give. So they've got a good chance of, really taking this one.
I'd love to see a solo player win this.
A solo player?
We have 128 people left. We don't know that all of those players belong to either Fools or Lit or whatever clan is remaining. there could very well be a solo player or somebody who's done well to blend in, as we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
Rot have changed their names to blend in with Lit.
And
Tend to
steal
be
the win.
them. It is not an uncommon strategy in Deadman to change names, blend in with the crowd, and just hope that nobody kills you. We could see somebody kind of rise from the shadows and end up taking this. $20,000.
That's what Mank tried to do, wasn't it? He tried to change his name. He was going to stream himself on his second qualified account,
Yeah.
which was lower stats, overlay the stats of his actual main account,
Yeah.
so it looked like he was playing his main account. He had some tricks up his sleeve.
Next level deception.
Obviously, it didn't really
comes to
it didn't really go to
play.
plan,
Right.
which is a shame because I thought that was quite smart.
So obviously we've been talking for a while here. What's been happening in the background is we've been giving the teams chance to resupply, change up their gear, swap out their spells. Obviously giving the team behind the scenes as well chance to look over all of the accounts that have qualified now. We're just still at the moment of letting them finalise all their preparations.
Oh, sorry, can I interrupt? I just saw these two guys talking to each other. One of them said, "You're going to win, but good luck." The other guy just a smiley face, have fun. Just that competitive but casual, spirit of good sportsmanship that you see. That's just awesome.
Yeah.
The spirit
It's
of
like
Deadman.
A lot of the things though within PK, and it's that it's all about the thrill of the kill. Most people don't really care about anything else when it comes down to PvP. All they care about is just the kills and being able to show that they're better than someone else, and
Yeah.
nothing else really matters.
Oh, wow. I must say as well, actually, Bwok, we said earlier, he's probably going to go very far. He's actually up against in his first 1v1, Mika, who was
We said this.
Oh, you did? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I keep watching the
It's okay.
screen and looking at who's fighting. But
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be able to beat Mika, honestly. My mind's on
No,
Mika here.
really?
I think Mika's going to take him.
Nah.
Mika came second place last time round,
Oh,
and he's a
you're
very
right.
competent hybrid, and he's got pretty much max stats. He's been playing all week, getting the best in slot gear
It's
as
a
well.
higher level.
I think
Bwok
he's
is
got
the
this.
underdog. Have you seen him PK recently? We
I saw
don't
his
know.
switches earlier, and I will say he's very, very competent, but so is Mika. It could go either way.
Okay, well, I'm really looking forward to this, guys.
We can
That
see
being
the
said,
switches. There we go.
Yeah, I was going to say, we have the great advantage here of being able to see their inventories.
Look at the... Is he getting some one-tick four-ways in there, yeah?
He is, yeah.
Decent.
Oh, he's got
On a
the
foreign
Emerald
setup as
Bolts
well?
so obviously going to
Yeah.
poison his opponent.
All right, guys, we're gonna head underway with the 1v1s very shortly, but for the time being, it's actually time to take a look at a highlight package to show us what's just happened so far in the Deadman finale. Right, guys, and we're back. Madaiza has just made a sprint for the toilet, so he'll
Oh,
make
bless
his way back. But let's talk real quick about that replay package. We saw Robert, I think, one of the most nototable deaths just there.
Being speared.
Being
and-
speared.
Robert
So
has put in.
unfortunate.
He is rank 1 Deadman right
Yeah,
now.
overall.
Well, he was.
Yeah, he was. He has put in so much effort this time around. He's
Yeah.
logged so many hours. He is relentless in playing every single Deadman season. I would have loved to see him at least in
tournament
like
will be
top
once.
10.
Yeah.
That being said, actually, we've already arranged with Robert. He's going to be streaming the next season. He's one of the smartest people when it comes to strategizing and talking about the next season, explaining what to do, methods that people aren't really thinking about, the unconventional methods. And I think he's going to be really fantastic at teaching the newer players, the newer viewers, how to play Deadman. So
Definitely.
we're going to send a host his way. So
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
if you're watching the stream, don't go anywhere. You can watch Robert take on the new season, learn a bit from him, steal his ideas, and you might be able to play in the next Deadman tournament.
He's progressed a lot as well because when he first started playing Deadman mode, which is where he made a name for himself.
Yep.
With the dragon dagger.
His strategy was getting the Dragon Dagger, getting really high strength, really high attack, running round and special attacking people, and basically one-hitting lower levels, or one-hitting people that were even higher, because his stats were so superior compared to theirs.
But his knowledge of the game in general as well has improved since then. I mean, this time round, this tournament, he's been doing the Monkey Madness 2 quest, so he can access the demonic gorillas, I believe they're called, and to get the Zenyte Jewelry and such. And his just overall knowledge of demo mode, like you said before, is unparamount to a lot of the players. So he's a lovely guy too. So definitely go check him out afterwards.
So moving into these 1v1s, there are a couple different strategies, right? The most famous is probably the Reg Ranger. So you're looking at people that potentially have invested in Vengeance, Ring of Suffering, they've got the D-Hide, Auto Retaliate, and their trusty crossbow.
Yeah, so the reason why that works so well is because obviously the defense bonus of having all of that Barrow's gear makes you not invincible, but it makes it very difficult for people to actually do enough damage against you. Also, you can focus on just changing your defensive prayers and not have to changing out your offensive switches. With, in addition to that, obviously, range in general just hits through defense with the Diamond Bolt C especially really, really well. So, yeah.
It's the safest way to go, probably the easiest way to play it, but I think a really skilled Tribrid who knows how to death dot, time his attacks, change his prayers, preemptively force his opponent into changing into the wrong prayers, and all of those things combined can really take this one home. And that's exactly what we saw the last tournament. So many of those top 10 the last tournament were Tribrids, very, very skilled at the game. Just goes to show there is a solid skill gap, especially in the 128.
Certainly, and one thing that we're going to have to, I really, really want to look out for as well, is with the new addition of being able to actually see the players' inventories. I want to talk a little bit about how the game mechanics work, how RuneScape is run on a tick system. So we're going to be talking about how fast people are switching from their gear, and we're going to see people switching two defensive pieces, which will be normally their top and their bottoms, and then their offensive pieces, which is going to be what they're going to have in their hand. And we're being counted down, so I don't know if I'm going to be
talking. We're going in.
Conversation as we jump into the game. But the first one we're observing right now is actually Mika versus What on stage right now, and here he goes. Good luck to both of them. And straight off the bat, look at that, 39 whip, that's a huge hit, almost a max hit, and Mika taking so much damage, plus the Vengeance.
Oh my god, he's nearly killed him straight away. Did you see what he did there? So when I was talking about the game tick system, there's 0.6 seconds in a game tick. You can only do as many movements.
I take back what I said before. Look at what absolutely dominating right now. He actually chose to change to Vengeance before the fight started. Put up Avenge, and I'm pretty sure now actually he has Barrage too, and you can see him switching out, trying to catch the freeze. Maybe he can go for a step under, as we said before, Chris, and with that
he's doing so much damage.
Look at the inventory compared to him. He's got all his 5 food left, whereas Mika now has only 1 anglerfish and has drank like a whole brew.
He's killed him right there. He's praying incorrectly on pretty much all of Buck's hits here. At the very start, he had his crossbow out, and as soon as it said go, he pulled out his whip and hit him like a 30 straight away. That set the precedent for the fight. However, the tables are turning now.
Mika's got an absolute
We're seeing Mika doing a lot of damage. Buck's failing to get his prayers right. He's whipping him on his range twice in a row there. He's on the back foot. He needs to get himself healed up. He needs to keep bolting back, get himself healed up, and get back into a position whereby he can deal damage straight back to Mika here, otherwise he's going to be in trouble. He's full bar health now, it's okay.
So we're watching this one as the main one. We're also watching Curtis in his fight. We got a brief glimpse at that. He seemed to be holding his own. Now, importantly about this Mika and Huokai PB fight is they seem to have the best gear out of everybody that we can see. We can see maybe a dozen fights right now if we pan out, but these guys have pretty much endgame Deadman gear. Whoever goes on to win this could very well go on to win the entire thing. This could be the deciding fight, the very first fight it is.
Definitely. Talking about fights here now, Graphist v Curtis, MMORPG. This is going to be one to watch. We know that, as we were saying before, Curtis not the most prolific of PKers. Graphist, obviously, more known for his pure PKing and edge fighting than his hybrid in fights. There's a lot of difference in food. MMORPG has a huge amount less.
I was going to say, I think that the main difference here is that Graphist has opted for pretty much an inventory of brews, which obviously each one, when you're high enough hit points, heals 16 at a time, making a brew heal 64 hit points. Whereas Curtis has opted for the 1-slot Dark Crabs, which don't reduce your stats, but only heal 22. So that's like 3 times as much damage you're going to heal per inventory space. So I'm not too sure what Curtis was thinking coming into this final, not having a whole inventory of brews like his opponents. And that's going to make a huge difference, and unless he can really start dealing incredible amounts of damage and coming back against Graphist, he hasn't got much of a chance.
Well, he needs the KO.
Yeah, you can see Graphist is completely outgearing him as well, though. Full barrows, he's got the Carol's bow as well.
Graphist still has special attack. Curtis has no special attack, he's out of food, this fight's over.
Yeah, Curtis has been, I think he's panicking now when he's on the back foot. He's prayed incorrectly for the last 5 hits. Graphis is just death dotting, standing straight underneath him after each attack.
Yep.
He's maged him twice. He's tricked Curtis into praying mage, then he's going straight in for a whip. However, the tides have turned.
Curtis coming back now, doing the same tactic back again.
He's doing well. You got to respect it. He's holding his own. He's with worse gear. He's at a disadvantage. Graphis has been PKing for years. He is strictly a PKer. He's very, very good at this.
However,
it's no surprise.
Curtis is doing some significant damage back. You know, he's getting unlucky with a few of those whip hits off prayer. Obviously, we can see Graphis has prayed incorrectly 3-4 times in a row.
Doesn't
Curtis
matter,
was super unlucky with those whip hits.
With 6 brews left and Curtis having nothing left, it's all over for him, I believe, at this point.
If we can remind you guys, a lot of these guys are streaming themselves.
Yeah.
So Curtis is streaming right now. It's very likely Graphis is streaming as well. We encourage you to load up as many streams as you want to, of course. Watch all of the action and see. We're going to follow all the big fights, but there are so many other fights going on right now, such as Gluck versus Mika. And yeah, well,
Curtis is like MMORPG's bringing this back a little bit. He's been doing some considerable amounts of damage. We've got to remember as well that every time that Graphis sips a brew, one of those yellow potions that you can see in the inventory, his defense is going to increase, but all of his other stats are going to decrease.
Yeah.
That's going to mean that his magic level's going down, and magic level is very important for magic defense. So if Curtis MMORPG is able to do some damage, make Graphis take down those brews, lower his stats, MMORPG might have a chance to deal that little bit of extra damage.
I don't know, man. 4 brews is a lot to take down when you're on only 40 hit points.
He's going to KO him.
Oh, he has a KO with D-ball hit. Oh, he could have
killed him.
31 hit points.
Wow.
He could have hit that with 99 range, I believe Curtis has from the Kurasks. That could have been the win there, and that would have been absolutely devastating for Gravis going down like that.
That's
the
the thing. Hold out until he gets 100% spec. He's got a G-Maul.
I think people have instantly just said, you know, Curtis can't win this. Graphis has such a significant amount more food than Curtis does. However, we're forgetting that Curtis, if he does loads of combo damage, he can just take him out.
He could have killed him right there.
He can kill him right now. Graphis is praying wrong. Graphis panicking. MMORPG is going nuclear.
He could have got him there if he got a good barrage hit. And still, he's brewed down Gravis right now, drinking loads of brews, chugging, just going for the range hits, not even worrying about doing any switches.
If he can make it to 100%
Curtis only
spec.
has 23 hit points left. And yeah, you're right.
They're both so low.
95% spec.
They're both so low.
Which might be too late. But 1 brew left for Graphis. And Curtis has done an absolutely fantastic job here of coming back. Here comes the G-Maul. 0-0. Oh my God, he was so close. Wow. He put up a great fight.
What a valiant effort from Curtis right there. He was on the back foot the entire fight. He'd almost depleted his entire inventory of
Talking
food.
about this, Brook's nearly falling down here.
Oh, he gets comboed out as well by Mika, like I said before. Wow.
Wakhan PB out of the game. There goes our on-stage talent out of the game.
Altogether.
Dying to the online talent that is Mika and
What an
Graphis.
incredible round of fights, though, that we've just seen there. I mean, Curtis at the time was 4 brews down, managed to get it to the single brew sip of Graphis, and even at that point, it was 5 HP.
That's all of our predictions are in the bin.
My money's
There
on,
goes everything. Everything
my
we were
money's on Mika to
sounding
keep
smart
going
to
forward,
say.
though.
Yes.
And I will say as well, Curtis, obviously, he was in this just to get to the 1v1 stage, to put on a show, to enjoy himself. That's what he's done. He's delivered. He got that far. So respect to him and kudos.
Curtis has to be
very
proud of
well
that
done.
performance. He did extremely well. I'm sure we have many claps in the chat. He's also had an incredible week leading up to this tournament.
The other thing is, if he had the bruise like Graphis did, I think he would have taken that win. So he's going to be kicking himself now, thinking back if that was the best strategy to go for.
It was so close, and there were a couple of opportunities that we saw where Curtis could have quite easily killed him. I feel bad for Curtis after that, but a valiant effort nonetheless.
So looking at this fight here now, we've got Blood Teller v Potato Dog 21.
Oh, Potato Dog.
So Potato Dog has seemed to opted for a full tank setup. It's worked out in his favor, and it's just taken down.
So if you're wondering what's going on with these consistent hits right now, these really low hits, essentially with these 1v1s, what could happen is 2 friends or 2 teammates from the same clan could be matched up together. It's completely randomized. So we have to incorporate a damage ticking system. Over time, we give them a few minutes to fight it out. If the fight's still going on, or they're not fighting, this damage will come in and just kind of push one of them to die first.
Yeah.
They're dropping like flies now. Mages just died there to DI
Trying to
Swifty.
use the redemption
And
to
they
stay alive.
both out of food there as well, so that was incredibly close.
I mean, it comes right down to it, doesn't it? Things like the Ring of Suffering, like I said before, 2 sharks difference will make a huge difference in this really nail-biting finale.
Completely.
We've seen pretty much every fight that we've seen so far come down to the wire. I'm assuming possibly my inability to actually see what his armor is. Was that a Blazers member with the Verax? Or?
I think he didn't have Verax. He had Guffin's helmet and some carols and such.
So that
we've not
there
seen
is
the
going
Verax
to
yet, though, have we?
conclude the round of 128. We're going to be moving into the round of 64 now.
Yeah.
So What are we going to see different here? We've obviously seen some fights. What's really going to be different?
Well, for a start, obviously, like we said before, Graphis there had a much better, unique setup and way more brews, way more food than Curtis did. From now on, both players will be reimbursed with their supplies to have exactly the equal amounts, same potions, same food, which means that all that really comes down to is who's got the better gear, who's got the better account they've been training over the past 8 days, and ultimately, who's got the better skill to really take it to the final and take home some money.
It's interesting because those fights that we've just seen there, pretty much all of them came down to the wire, regardless of people having different invent setups. When they have the exact same invent setup, these could be, you know, tooth and nail.
Here we are into the round
shall
of
we?
64, and the first fight that we're going to be able to spectate is Mika again fighting against Setiki Kato.
All right,
Sounds
well,
about
So
right.
I'm
what
going to stay
this, what
here.
this might be is a name change. This very well could be a big streamer who has like quadruple name changed and is trying to hide. We've found them, but we don't have confirmation just
I mean,
yet
being
who it
91
is.
combat, though, versus 124,
Look
Mika's
at-
got a distinct advantage
Look
here.
at the difference in inventory as well. On the left here, we can see, I'm not going to try and pronounce seat.
The level 91.
Yep.
The level 91.
Oh, Dalek Cookie.
We have Baylek Cookie as well versus then Adrisuja. I'm not sure how you pronounce his name either. 119 core versus 101. And is that full Verax we see there?
It is
is full
full
It
Verax.
is full Verax with the shield switch, with Vengeance. This
Oh
could
my
be the
God.
winner.
So this, obviously, like when I was talking to the Blazers members, they said that their secret strategy was full Verax. Obviously, there's a 1 in 4 chance of it completely
see it
going
right there.
through,
Every time the
protect from
pink little
melee
cloud
and the
comes up.
defense. Yeah, we see that visually with the cloud. And well, that's indicative of obviously some Blazers members still being alive. I was worried that they'd all be wiped out, and we see none of them in here. But fortunately, there is one, so we can see the power of the Verax right here.
But look at Dalek Cookie doing the two-way switch, have some extra defense bonus for those hits, and then putting on the Carol's hood and the black D-hide body to go for the actual hits themselves.
Yeah, she's going quite
Dalek
hard.
Cookie, not one of the most renowned PKers.
No.
Right? Not known for PKing, but incredible at PVM and just old school in general. You can see her flicking the tank armor on the defensive hits, taking it off, putting back the offensive armor on the actual offensive hits. And prayer switches are probably going to be on point. Somebody who's as good as she is at the Inferno, for example, getting into a 1v1 with overhead prayers.
She is
could be
about to
pretty
die.
Well, she's doing... Yeah, she's going to get coming
Well,
up.
she's getting
Oh, she
her,
managed to get the
vengeance,
combo
yeah,
in
I
there,
mean,
Yeah, you're right.
fortunately.
She's doing what she knows best, and that is, concentrating on those overhead prayers, like you said before, to minimize the amount of damage that is dealt to her. Obviously, overhead prayers reduce damage by 40%, so getting them right on the right game tick, as we said before, is absolutely essential to having the best chance of going far. Although saying that, the Vengeance right now is dealing so much damage, and currently the then level 119 with full Verax is doing very well, and he's got a lot more food left.
Yeah.
So the great thing about this fight here, obviously, utilising the full Verax, everyone's well aware from the last tournament that we haven't made huge amounts of changes in terms of the items and armour that you can bring. Everyone was stacking tank gear. Range tank was the meta. Verax, obviously, as we spoke about, goes
Oh
through
my
defenses.
gosh,
Dalek Cookie
look at
then
that.
nearly
The
dropping.
combination that we're
Back-to-back
seeing from
20s
this
through
Verax is, I mean, we've been told how powerful it is,
Yeah.
but seeing it right here, the combinations that they're getting is absolutely incredible. They've not hit a 0 for 6 hits now.
Oh, look at DS Spec 001, what was that, like 35 HP, could have killed him for prayer. And again, I believe Dalek Cookie should be eating here, but what is she doing? She's just sitting there with 4 food, 5 food left, and just taking damage. She's got to eat up a little quicker. There we go, now she starts to do it.
What was interesting there, actually, was where Dalek Cookie used Vengeance. The level 119 decided to pull out the Dragon Dagger,
poke.
spec, and
is that why he did it? To hit low
I
damage?
think he did it because he knew that Dalek Cookie having Prey
Okay.
melee up would mean that obviously his hit would be lower, meaning that the Vengeance effect would be less harmful to himself.
And special attack wise, obviously now the level 119 with Verax actually has 60%, so he has 2 Dragon Dagger specs left, whereas Dalek Cookie has no special attack weapon whatsoever.
And no food.
And no food
Which
now,
is probably
so
the most important part of this. I don't mean to be cynical, but I think this is the end of the road for Dalek Cookie.
unless the redemption comes in.
Yeah.
When
Well
the
played, Dalek
retribution,
Cookie, guys.
the
You gotta give it to
disrespect.
her.
It's a Fools member, I believe. Hashtag Fools we saw there, so not a Legends member.
So here we have Plank and Sermal Wolf, it looks like. Level 100 versus 113.
Both
Trying
pretty
to
much
make out what
range
these
tank
gear
here.
setups are. Sermal seems to have just gone with range, strictly range. And here we can see Plank has a little bit of melee with the leaf-bladed axe there, and Plank is clearly winning.
Yeah, interesting.
Really
to
like
go
to see
for.
that.
The Leaf Blade Battle Axe being the same game tick delay as the Rune Crossbow, so, keeping that kind of momentum going, understanding when to switch weapons, and it being very consistent with the 2 weapons. And also, the Leaf Blade Battle Axe in its own right is the same strength bonus, I believe, as an Abyssal Tentacle.
Yep.
So it is a
It's
really
very
strong
strong.
weapon.
And you'll notice another thing about the Leaf Bladed Battle Axe is it has mechanically a strange stall to it. So when you'll see Pink pulling out is it Poink or
Plank?
Plank, sorry. When you see Plank taking out the Leaf Bladed Battle Axe, if we can actually go back to that fight, you'll see that his character won't move straight away. His attack and the damage would have actually been dealt before his character moves. So it's harder for the opponent that he's fighting against to actually pray accordingly to that attack.
So the fight here we have You See My Cat versus Armadil is 007. There's 1 Karambwan left for Armadil, and 3 Sharks and 1 Karambwan left for You See My Cat.
Again, we're seeing that the combat difference here really playing a crucial part in these fights. A lot of the level 100 pluses are just dominating the level 80s and 90s, which is why it makes it so crucial that throughout the whole week, you spend all your time, training up your stats to be as high as possible. And there we go, Armadil goes down, and You've Seen My Cat, the little pet cat following him, going through to the next round.
And here we are back with the Plank fight. Now, something that's really interesting is you have to wonder how many players drank an anti-fire potion when they were having access to the bench.
Oh, look at these specs. Sorry, Chris.
These Dragon
almost KO'd him out. Very, very close. And he
These
was
Dragon
actually-
Bolts could be life-ending, right? You can hit 60s with these things.
Yeah, you can
There we
hit
have it.
huge
Plank
with
has just
them.
taken the fight over Sermal Wolf. But you are completely right. If people haven't taken antifires, we're talking large hits, 50s.
Potential KOs.
Yeah.
Right now we're just seeing Outlast. We're not seeing any KOs. I want to see a KO.
I want to see a KO as well.
Yeah.
Maybe we can see some of these
Well,
DDS specs come in.
I
coming
want
in
to see a
strong.
Dalrox KO, but we can't have anything we want. So, unfortunately, Skullsix didn't make it to the final. So
Yeah.
Okay,
that's
so-
out of the picture.
So resuming our quick chat, recapping that final wave, what's essentially happening here is we're letting our players get ready for their next fight, but more importantly, we're letting our anti-cheating specialists give another quick look to the accounts. That last round resumed very quickly, which means that they've already done all of the looking into all of these accounts. So all of these guys are legitimate, which is great to hear. So we're looking forward to seeing the next round. Predictions going into this one, I think we still have Graphist. We still have Nico.
I don't know why I'm surprised, but I'm surprised at the power of that Verax combination.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see that person take it all the way.
I agree there. Next fight coming up right now, we're jumping into it, and I believe we have Wiggle DMM
who
versus
is not
17
actually
at
Wiggle,
DMM.
is it?
It's not Wiggle, it's one of the solo players, I'm pretty sure. Aiza, you have the information about that guy there.
I'll see if I can find out that for you, Ian.
Yeah, Wiggle DMM, a really competent member. He's got the Arams, he's got the Mage setup, and he's against what looks to be a Rag Ranger at level 102 combats. He's got 10 combat levels higher than him. He's got 3 switches that he can use, melee range, and, melee range and melee, magic.
We can see that
He's
Wiggle...
got double whips going now.
We can see that Wiggle DMM is very, very competent.
Yeah.
He's constantly changing and what we call faking. Constantly faking and changing what he's wearing to try and trick his opponent. You
to
see
break
there,
on
he
his
pulled
hands
out
out.
his mage gear and then at the last second changed his whip to make sure that he hit him off the prayer.
Well,
Yeah.
I do have something to point out. Now, there might be a mistake here. Correct me if I'm wrong. Wiggle DMM has water runes and blood runes.
yeah?
Where are the
No
death?
death runes. Has he forgotten his death runes? It looks like he has, or maybe he just maybe he came into this with just range and melee, and then picked up some of the stuff off the floor from his last opponent.
You're
But
right.
yeah, with no death runes, he has got a bunch of switches that he can't do anything with.
No,
which
he's
means just
faking the
range
mage.
Yeah.
But he's faking it because that's all he can do.
No, maybe he's faking the mage so that people think that he's going to mage. Because mage obviously is a lot more inaccurate than potentially range or melee, he's making them pray mage.
But why bring 2 runes and not
Why?
the 3rd?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I don't think that's the case.
Imagine
I think
that.
either there's been a tragic case of events where
Yeah,
he's actually forgotten
forgotten
the runes, or
Dropped them.
he's managed to loot this gear throughout
Yeah.
and not managed to get himself any death runes, which
Yeah.
from this kill, if he manages it, he won't either.
I'm curious to check out the other fights personally. I'd love to see what other names are still in this one. I'm seeing the one next to us is actually pretty intense. We see Infinity Boots, Crystal Shield, the upgraded Mage Cape. We've got... That guy is a tank.
A whip and everything, full Arams, yeah, full Barrows gear. And the guy's actually smashing it as well. I can see it coming my eye. When we can jump over to that fight in a second.
Just to point out on
Yep.
this fight there, sorry, Wiggle DMM appears to be a Finnish player, so possibly affiliated with Fools. We
Yeah.
can't confirm that
I'm
exactly.
pretty sure he is because I'm sure he was trying to kill me at Barrows the other day to defeat his Finnish clan.
However, 17 and DMM is also from Finland.
What? So do you
Oh,
think
no.
Do you think they're just fighting each other for
They're
fun?
so strong.
Well, they don't mind, really, do they, if whoever goes through? Because like Iomeri said before to us, a win for Finland is a win for fools kind of thing. They don't really care who goes through, any particular player. They just want to win so they can buy that house, have a massive party,
have a good
enjoy
time.
themselves, which is what they deserve if they go through.
Definitely, definitely. I think Wiggle DMM is going to take this one, though. He has... he's got a few more shots.
They're the Dragon Balls that are coming in. Unfortunately, range protection actually reduces damage by 40%, and the Mage Prey actually completely stops the Dragonfire effect from taking any effect whatsoever.
I wonder if 17 has realised that he's not used Mage once. But we have got intel that Graphis has perished. He killed Curtis. He killed his next opponent. Unfortunately, he has fallen in round 3 of the 1v1. So fair play. A round of applause for Graphis, please, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, what's interesting here is their food is quite evenly matched. Their gear and stats are quite evenly matched. However, Wiggled DMM has messed up in bringing Mage Gear without the Death Runes, which means if he loses this fight, it's purely because of that.
Well, potentially, but also you've got to keep it into account. I think this whole fight he's been doing very, very well and really, dominating. But 17 DMM had some really nice combos there, and now there's only a 2 food difference. So for someone that's 10 combat levels lower, he's getting exceedingly lucky. Plus his gear is much lower as well. He's only got Dragon on, and he's taken now into account that Wiggle DMM hasn't cast a barrage once. So now every time Wiggled is doing it and chucking on the Mage, he's not changing Mage Prey. He knows it's a fakie, and he's learned from those mistakes from before.
And he has 100% spec left.
He's still
with a DDS.
He's still very slow at changing his prayers, though. I'm seeing Wiggled getting a lot of whip hits, like back to back. There's one, and there's going to be another.
It's honestly neck and neck right now. Even with the food taken into account, they both have about 70 HP remaining. It's going to come right down to the wire. Wiggled, obviously, if he starts eating food here, he can't attack for a few more game ticks.
Yeah.
And he's got no prayer. Has he got no prayer at all? Wasn't even prayer flicking?
Food,
that's a huge advantage for 17 and DMM now, who's going to hopefully be able to take this win potentially. We're at the same HP right now, but those overhead prayers absolutely smashing the defensive up. And he's got full spec as well. I'm not sure why he's not dumping the spec yet with the DDS, but that could literally win the fight from right now.
Doesn't need to.
He doesn't even need to, no. Range just hitting through so consistently, really. He doesn't believe it. Wiggle DMM going down. Someone 10 levels lower. Wow.
I can't help but feel bad for the guy for getting those roots.
I was looking at it like, surely he's messed up.
Yeah, imagine if it was probably likely that in the 5-minute banking period he accidentally banked the runes, didn't realise, got more food, and then...
Very unfortunate.
Yeah,
Not hilarious.
Is that full Guffins that I see on the guy on the right?
No, surely not.
No, I think it genuinely is. I think he has the hat on, or the helmet, and the skirt, and then in his inventory he's got the top and the weapon. Not too sure when that would come into effect, but maybe now he's going to go for it.
I don't think.
Am I seeing things, or is he wielding Tassets?
He's wielding Tassets. It's a Verax helm, so he doesn't have the full Guthans switch.
It looks like it's full Guffins, but maybe I'm wrong.
But why would he have the spear if he doesn't have the Guthans switch? Surely that is a Guthans.
I think it's Guffins.
Spirit.
And but obviously coming out the wire again here, both players are very low HP. The fog going to make the difference here, and they both go down together. But who goes down first?
We looked at the wrong guy. That was Tassets on the floor right there.
Oh, okay.
He might be picking them up actually.
I wonder if he'll loot the Tassets and use them. Obviously, they have the best strength bonus for a bottom half piece of armor in the game.
And good range defense bonus.
Really do.
Defense, yeah.
But they're not as tanky as the Barrows pieces.
But not Guthans plate skirt is not the tankiest.
That's true.
It is.
Like,
that is true.
I'd be using those Tassets.
Yeah.
I'd ditch the spear. Because Guthans isn't going to do anything in this tournament.
I'm pretty certain he had a Verax helmet on as well.
I'm thinking you're looking at the other guy who had the Tassets. Because he had a Verax helmet.
Oh, okay. Right,
Yeah.
my bad.
So only on that point, I think that was the end of the round of 64. So we're going to be moving into the round of 32. Things are really getting heated now. It's not long until we get into those semi and then the final. And wow, I cannot wait.
At this point, these fights are just about costing money. You have to think, like, what are your chances getting in the top 32? There's $32,000. It's 20 grand to the winner, 12 grand spread across the remaining contestants. You must feel that pressure getting into that fight. You get shaky, you get nervous.
It takes Jad hands to the next level.
Yeah.
For sure.
I like that.
It's the dead man mode hands. And here we are, straight into the round of 32. First fight here is going to be... There we go.
My AGS now?
It looks like my AGS now v...
Darox. He has a God Sword! Oh my god, is that a Saradomin God Sword on the left-hand side?
And full Darox.
122 combat with against the full Darox. This is the dream come true, quite literally. Oh my gosh. So, Yeah, the Saradomin Godsword, for those that don't know already, is a weapon obtained from God Wars Dungeon, from Saradomin, the God Wars Dungeon boss. And what it does is you have a chance to heal HP and to heal prayer points, which is fundamentally so important, as we saw before, of certain people, you know, who have low prayer and they run out of prayer, and it makes the difference. So that Saradomin Godsword is also extremely accurate, although extremely slow. The Darox, on the other hand, if you get down to low HP...
Look at that. He's sat very low HP.
Oh,
he might be risking it a bit too much. I think he could have actually died.
You gotta respect
whip
these risks. Now, with Rai, what's interesting with the Godsword is, as soon as he pulls that out, his opponent, MyAGS Now, will figure that out. He needs to time that switch perfectly. If he uses the SGS, uses it on Prey Melee, his opponent will know from now on, oh my god, I need to Prey Melee at all times.
Yeah.
But if he can sneak it in there, potentially heal like 40 hit points.
Just look at the HP, the food difference. That was the first food that Rinnia has actually eaten this fight, and now the Darok guy, I'm afraid, unless he gets a really lucky combo, which he could do, he could hit like an 80 or a 70 if his stats are high enough. 105 combat, maybe not. But he has a chance with the Gmaul 2 to stack over full HP damage if he gets lucky enough, which if, you know, Rinnia doesn't see the Daroks coming in, doesn't Prey Melee at the right time, it could well happen.
And Rai is playing this well. He's keeping a distance. You can see Rai trying to step aside.
He might pull out the axe here.
That could be it.
I think he's being a little bit overzealous here. He's
There
pulled
it
out the
is.
Godsword. The first swing, here's a 0 off the prayer as well. He had the prayer range up. That could have been fatal.
The other thing as well is obviously Rinnia has Vengeance right now, so if MyAGS Now actually...
Oh
the
my
combo!
God!
What did he being comboed
That
out?
was so close.
It's a KO!
He was so
Beautiful.
overzealous with the Daroks then.
Taking way too many risks for him.
So here we have Mika against So Gangster. Mika with more food available than So Gangster.
He has a ring switch too. He has the Ring of Suffering in his inventory, which I assume it means he's wielding maybe a Seer's Ring imbued or something like that. We can't see what what's in his ring slot right now. But Mika, like I said before, second place last tournament, has a really good chance of going far right now. And So Gangster just can't keep up. He has 4 Sharks left compared to Mika's almost full inventory. Wow, it's so one-sided right now.
Mika
It's
is
incredible
doing so well.
because-
He came second place last tournament. He may very well win this one.
What he's doing right here is extremely clever because he's freezing his opponent, he's standing underneath him, and then when he comes out to do more damage, he's making sure that he's standing on a square that's diagonal, which means that his opponent, if he's trying to hit him with melee, cannot. He has to hit him with either magic or
Gangsta can
range.
only win with Lucky Granite Maul. It's the only way he's going to win.
That's
Lucky Granite
true.
Maul Venge combo.
I mean, he has 100% spec, so it could happen. The Granite Maul obviously having an instant special attack weapon, so being able to deal 3 hits in I believe, 2 game ticks, which you can't really defend against unless you get lucky or eat on the right game tick.
As much as I believe in the comeback, I think this is going to be the end of the road
don't
for
believe in the comeback.
So Gangster.
Oh, well, with like 8 Sharks left, I don't think, or 10 Sharks left even maybe, I don't think it's going to happen, man.
Now, what do you think about multiple bolt switches? For
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second. So we have Emerald Bolts E, which have the poison effect, which goes into play, and it's very, very consistent. Now, that poison damage in these 1v1s, you can't actually, you know, anti-poison from it. You haven't got the potions to do so. So it does stack up, but it doesn't involve having an extra inventory space. And I believe Mika's going to take this win here. And what other bolts does he have, actually, Chris? I believe they're Diamond
It looks
bolts?
to me like Diamond, yeah.
And potentially Onyx as
They
well.
penetrate defense as well. So obviously Diamond Bolts have a chance of proccing, which means that basically there's a chance that they will completely ignore defense, similar to the Verax armor that we saw before. And Mika has actually taken that win. A valiant effort from his opponent, So Gangster. Unfortunately, he just couldn't compete.
A lot of us were thinking beforehand that this would be the case of a lot of the range tanks going really far, but we've seen time and time again that the hybrid meta is the best thing to use for these
another person
PKers.
You'd love to see that. So many people saying, oh, it's just going to be a tank range
That's what,
with auto
honestly,
retaliate. We'll
myself
win
included.
it.
I thought it was going to be the case, but
I was in there saying, no, a
proving
skilled
people wrong.
hybrid will win this
You were
tournament.
adamant, and do you know what?
Hopefully.
Actually, you were right. It looks like everyone is taking on the hybrid. They're looking for the perfect attacks against the wrong switches.
Yep.
And as we've said, regardless of how good your defense is, if you're doing the right attacks at the right time, you always have statistically a better chance of dealing more damage,
So-
and it's showing here.
I've got some notes from that last round. We have Rainia, who is a UK player who appears to have previously been in ROT, or maybe still is in ROT.
That's the
ROT
person that had the
actually might win
Godsword, isn't it?
this. I believe so.
Yeah.
And then we have So Gangsta, a player in Fools. So I really appreciate Mod Sweden starting to get us this information.
I think Rinnia actually isn't Raw, essentially, because I believe Raw has been camping God Wars Dungeon.
Yeah.
That was the insider info
this
that we didn't
season.
want to release,
This
but yeah, we
tournament,
heard
yeah.
people
Yeah.
were doing God Wars Dungeons. We were waiting to see if an item would come up. Didn't want to ruin the surprise, and well, we've seen it there.
I
we
got
like to go
sent a GIF of one of Rot's leaders alking a Saradomin Hill in this Deadman mode tournament.
I think that was fake. I think that was
I think it
an
possibly
edited
was,
video. Because he still has...
And here we go. So as I was mistaken, the last round wasn't
Here
the
he
round
is,
of
right
32,
here.
it was round of 16, which means
We're back
this is
with
now the
Sarah
round of
Godsword.
8.
Oh, really? So this is the game decider of who takes home money, right?
Yeah, so basically we've got first place winning 20,000, second place is 10,000, and then third and fourth each will get 1,000, and then the remaining 12 players will get a year's worth of membership, I believe.
Yep. This is a really, really important fight.
And both members here obviously have
Great
full
looking,
tribal
very
gear as
strong.
well.
He's got the rune pouch, the soul runes for blood barrages. The Sarah Godsword, on the other hand, in multiple bolt switches.
Yeah, so Saradomin Godsword, not typically a weapon that you would see used in PvP. You'd typically see the Armadyl Godsword for the higher damage. But when you're talking about a situation where you're limited in terms of food, you're limited in terms of prayer, the Saradomin Godsword special, if he gets a good hit, that's going to give him HP and prayer back. It could be really well utilised.
I would say right here in this fight, I believe Raymare, although he might not have the best gear sub compared to Rinier, he is out DPSing him like crazy, and he's getting all the prayer switches right. You can see by his switches. Well, apart from that, you can see from his inventory. DC is saying? Well, you can see from his inventory. Look at that respect as well, making sure he's not DC, making sure everything's okay.
He's still killing him.
Still killing him though. Yeah, exactly. And in inventory as well, we said before, Raymare, if you see his switches, he's doing like 4-way 1-ticks as well, which is has he DC'd potentially? Is that what he's saying?
No,
are they both
fine.
lagging?
We have a skilled ranger versus a skilled hybrid. This is a perfect fight for a Deadman finale. You almost wish this was the ending 1v1.
I think Ratemir is having some problems here, as he's not eating any food. He's dropped his prayer for some reason, and really going for the SGS spec while he can, hitting a 0. But if Ratemir doesn't start eating soon, it's all over for him, and he was displaying some serious power beforehand.
That is really unfortunate.
He was looking like he was going to take that one home, but no, he goes down. Next up, we have then Adinula, level 119 combat, who has the full Verak, like you said before, and actually losing or potentially just about coming in. He's got 3 sharks, 3 doses of brew, 2 Karambwans. The luck of the Verak's actually hitting here, having the effect come into play, is so crucial.
To see how strong this is, and he actually has the Dragonfire Shield as the switch as well in between the hits.
Is that full Darox again to the right? It is. 122 combat
so,
with the full Darox. Let's go. I want to see like a big 80 being hit here. And the DFS though, one of the tankiest shields in the game, if not the tankiest.
How about this,
available.
Ian? How about this?
Right?
He gets down low HP. As we can see, Jas is out of food right now. And he's always bolting back, but he's pulled out the DDS. The DDS off prayer there as well. What I think he needs to do here is he needs to constantly bolt, trigger his opponent into prey in range, and just pray that he hits a huge hit axe hit with the Darox.
But unfortunately,
he's dead. That's not going to happen.
The Verak's meta, I think it's going to take
It's prevailing. The Verak's
doing very well.
Yeah.
It'll be really interesting to see how Verak's will go up against someone who's doing full hybrid, though.
Yep.
Because the melee damage overall is going to be inconsistent.
Mika almost getting the combo there. And yeah, the Ballista, like you say, Ballista obviously having two-handed weapon, but the range strength of it is absolutely monumental. You can hit, I think, 50s in this game, maybe 40s with Eagle Eye, which compared to the rune crossbow, much more consistent too, but you lack the shields, your defense bonus is lower. Now, if Mika can take this win here from 9464, it means that he can acquire that Ballista and make his account and his setup all the more, strong and have a better chance of going through.
And the Ballista is incredibly powerful.
But it's such a close neck-and-neck fight right now with 9464 down to 1 brew and 1 shark, compared to Mika with only 2 sharks remaining.
And all of these players bringing Emerald Bolts, it seems, the meta seems to be for these players at least, is to bring the Emerald Bolts, get the first hit, get the poison in, put them away, pull out the Dragon Bolts.
Yeah.
It's all about the wear down though, because obviously people aren't going to throw away a food slot for an anti-poison. Ultimately, they weigh it up and probably saying it's not worth it. Maybe now after seeing this, they'll reconsider in the future.
Yep. Or even like super anti-poisoning when they have that bank access earlier. We don't know how long that.
They're Onyx bots, I think,
this
is using right there. It's interesting to see as well, because obviously at the start of this fight when we started spectating, Mika got an opportunity to KO 9464. Unfortunately, he hit huge, then went straight in for the barrage. The barrage hit a 0, and obviously we can see now that 9464's brew dose is completely gone. He's out of food. Mika is also out of food.
And that's where experience really comes into this. I've seen Mika being very consistent with his switches and taking the kill there. He was staying so cool throughout that, not making any mistakes, and I believe that's what gave him the advantage. He's been in this position before, he's had the experience, he knows exactly what he's doing. And right here, 122 combo versus 121 on the right. Both no supplies left, both down to 40 and 60 HP. A 38, that could be all over for him. Poking him to death, go on, finish him off. 0-0 DDS, that's so unfortunate.
On 3 HP, he's flicking the redemption
tanking like a machine,
He really isn't having the best of luck. luck here, is he, unfortunately?
Wow, so many zeros. Is he going to come back? No,
there he is.
unfortunately
Yeah,
not.
he perished.
So
That was
just
a
a
close
quick
one.
note on this fight here. We're seeing a lot of names with random characters. What we've been doing in the background is some of these people have had a few naughty names that needed changing. And it's very likely that in the time limits that we have, we're unable to be creative. So they've just been given a few random letters.
Okay, I
So
see.
something like worse. I don't know, something funny, not a bunch of random gibberish.
Well,
And on that note,
we have, so now we're on to the top 4, right?
yeah, so now that was the
means-
last 8, so we're going into the quarterfinals.
Which means that Mika, once again, has made it into the top 4. Potentially, if he wins the next round, the top 2, a chance to money
Incredible.
again.
I
Oh,
mean-
are they guaranteed money now?
So yeah, first place 20,000, second place 10,000, third and fourth 1,000 each.
Well, he's made some money, then he can give us a pat on the back. That's actually insane for him to do. And I really do think that he can go all the way. Although, the biggest challenge for him right now is how is he going to fare against the Varak guy who has just obliterated everyone he's come up against. It's not been a close call either, whereas Mika's kind of clutched a few wins. So it could
He
go
has
either way.
been shown in a considerable amount of skill, though, in these fights. Everyone that you've seen, he has been incredible. The right
Mika's
switches.
been really composed. He's been
Yeah.
making sure that he's utilising the freeze and stand under, and he's not been panicking at all.
He's super consistent.
when he's
as well.
like completely out of food as well, so massive respect to Mika for that.
And
Let's
we're,
find out
we're
what
back
happened.
with Rainia, who apparently very well might be a ROT member. And this Jad guy, I'm thinking, it looks like he might be a Finnish player.
Oh, really? And his switches are actually on point too. He's doing extremely well, putting on the tank on the right ticks, making sure he can tank up as much time as he can, but then putting the Rose back on to hit those big mage hits, although Rinier retaliates by getting his prayers up pretty much right on time. Both players here, not much difference between them, is there, Elliot?
No, we're seeing a lot of skill being displayed by Jad here. He's, like you said, he's putting on his tank gear to make sure that he's fully defended against the bolts of Rinier, and then he's one tick in his attack of his mage straight out. You see a hit of 27 there off the prayer, and he's faking his staff straight in for whips, and he's always...
that could've gone there,
Rinier could
actually.
have killed him there. He's literally one step ahead of Rinier this entire fight. Rinier has fallen for every fake switch that he's throwing at him.
And of course, if Jad's now win this fight, he does get the gear. He gets the SGS, which can, really will make a huge difference. Being able to deal damage, a lot of damage as well, saying that, as well as obviously healing your prayer and healing your HP.
We've seen a couple of people run out of prayer and die because of it, so maybe the SGS, it could be the difference between the win or
This
the
is
loss.
such a one-sided fight. Jazz has his full inventory of sharks left, although he's actually used a brew, and Rinier still has the whole brew, but used a lot of his sharks. So, I mean, it's hard to tell who's got the advantage here,
When
but
do
it
you
could go
think
either
is
way.
the optimal time to use the brew?
I think the reason why they use it first right at the start is they don't have to eat food, because every time you eat a food, there is a delay. You have to wait a few extra game ticks before you can deal more damage again. The brew being a potion, although it lowers your stats, if utilised efficiently, the time between your stats being lowered and you then restoring them back up again and repotting is minimal. So using the brew first, I guess it's personal preference, really. It depends. It's situational.
You can get some damage in there while you're sipping the brew.
Exactly, yeah, you can keep
Start the
attacking.
snowballing effect.
Exactly.
As soon as you make your opponent eat, if you can keep that damage up, you can just about win the fight.
Yeah.
The obvious downside to it is, though, obviously, if you're at the start of the fight and you're wanting to maximize your damage per second by using your brews early on, you could find yourself in a situation whereby you get comboed, and you, obviously, with how a brew works, you can eat a shark and then sip a brew straight after, so it combos the two consumable foods. If you have used all your brews, you're getting comboed out. You need to heal more than the 20 that a shark heals you. You're unable to, and you can die.
Mika, again, absolutely dominating this fight. Although saying that, they're actually pretty similar food right now. Ven is currently with 3 sharks, 2 Karambwans, and 3 just a brew. Mika has no brew left, so he needs to come back here. The poke is not going to help him. And this is showing, again, the hardest fight he's going to have potentially against the Varaks. If he can take this guy down, the DFS having huge defense bonus. Oh, the Onyx Sport proc coming in. The Onyx Sport, of course, healing HP depending how much damage you deal. Plus the Blood Barrage as well. Also further
And he
healing
just
HP.
he just DDS-spec'd him off his prayer as well.
Really? Oh,
that
man.
was so close. That could have been a KO. I think he was sat around 52 HP when that DDS came in. He had his Carol's top, which is low defense.
Mika is
against
turning the
that.
tides right now, and if he can catch the next freeze as well, it's going to be really crucial for him.
If Mika wins this, he gets himself full Verax.
Yeah, for
With
the
his
final.
skill and full Verax, he's looking very strong.
And just to mention again, last time round, he came second place. He took home $10,000.
Yep.
So this time round, it could potentially be 20,000. Time and time again, he's proven himself worthy of being here. And he's actually starting to come back, and he's got 3 sharks left compared to 1 shark and 1 Karambwan. So it's going to take a lot for them to have some good Varak hits to come back and win this. But the stepping underneath, keeping calm, and consistently, switching right is just playing off for him, isn't it?
Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job here. Huge combo coming out with the Vengeance there as well for the NAD.
But saying that, though, obviously Vengeance, yeah, it is so helpful. And now Mika deciding to put on the Ring of Suffering. He didn't put it on before. I'm not too sure why he did that, because Ven has had the Ring of Suffering the whole way through, and he's been using the Sears Ring instead. I believe is what he's got from his YouTube videos at least.
Yeah.
To have that major attack bonus to ensure that all these freezes do count and they do hit. And now Ven is out of food with 74 hit points. Mika with around 95 with the sharks included. So it's neck and neck. Anything could happen here. It depends how these different opponents outsmart each other and what they can hit.
You can see Mika is deliberately sitting on lower HP right now. He doesn't want to use those last two sharks because it completely gets rid of
used.
Oh my god, he might die.
37 with Verax.
He's going to die.
No.
I think this is the end for Mika.
14 HP. Oh,
He's
so
He's
close.
down.
Good
Well
fight,
played,
says. Respectful.
good fight.
And the other fight going on right now is
Now
back
again,
to
we
Rinnia
have a
versus
player
Jats.
likely in Rot here, and a player potentially...
Rinnia's pulled out the SGS as a fakie there.
Unfortunately, hitting a 0 though when he went for
yeah.
the spec, which really sucks for him because now he only has one shark and one Karambwan left, whereas Jads has 4
That
sharks.
could have killed him there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Jad just barraged on the same tick as Rinnia casted a Vengeance. The spell did a massive amount of damage, obviously inflicting that straight back on him. And on the tick after, he whipped Jad, and I think Jad was on about 27 HP. He could have died to that. Fortunately, RNG coming into his favor.
Obviously, Jazz now has 2 sharks from Radiant Entries, 40 HP, so overall 107 versus 71. Rinnia right now is going to have to get some constant hits through the right prayers, which he's doing. The range hits. Jad's still protecting melee and somehow tanking it constantly. So many hits tanked, but he's changing his prayers now, and the Godsword hitting a 0. Godsword, very slow weapon as well.
Hitting a 0 right there off prayer is incredibly unlucky for Rinnia. He's getting desperate now. He's completely out of food. You can see him pulling out the
But they
Godsword
both
all
are.
the time.
And
Yeah.
the poison also...
The fighters came up so even now, and I think with the higher DPS potential of the SGS, Rinnia might have a chance of taking this.
I mean, right down now to the wire, 42 versus 37 HP. Both players don't have enough special attacks to be able to do anything with it.
Not forgetting,
but
however,
there's the 0-0, 35 versus
He's just
39.
poking.
And he could have killed him there. Rinnia can hit 39 HP of the Godsword easily.
Still poking the DDS. Something's wrong, surely.
I'm not too sure, but the Vengeance here really making a difference. Can he get the bolt off? Oh my gosh, it's so close. But Rinnia's getting the first hit in here. Oh my god, neck and neck.
It's a 2 HP.
Oh wow! And now
They're
Rinnia
both-
going to get the first hit.
they're
Jad's
both red bar.
first. Jad's first. The 0. Jad's not a hit first. Got a chance. 0.
Yes,
oh my
one
god.
Oh my god, 1 HP versus
No
2
way.
HP.
No
the
way.
zeros are coming in.
The
Jad was on
poison's
wrong
about to
prayer.
hit. Oh my god. Wow. Rinnia was so close.
Double death, but the first hit came from Rinnia in that moment. Incredible to watch. However, I do want to just point out, Rinnia still had super restores left. He could have just used redemption.
Could have
He might have been
that was a
It's a risky
$10,000
strategy,
fight.
That was a $10,000 fight. You're right.
$10,000 fight coming down to 3 HP combined.
Oh my gosh.
Dying at the same time. That's
And
horrible.
the same with Mika too. I think there was like 20, 30 HP in it at the end.
Yeah.
It could have gone either way, and that's what makes this finale so enjoyable. It's so thrilling and so neck and neck right up until the end.
I think one of the most notable things in that fight between Mika, right at the end there, he was on the, he was taking advantage. He was in the driver's seat of that fight. He was constantly utilizing the freeze and stand under that we see constantly with the Tribrids in the game that know what they're doing. He's remained composed. He had 2 sharks, and he was just trying to maximize his damage per second on his opponent. At the point whereby he had to eat those sharks, he actually stood out. His opponent casted Vengeance, recoiled the damage straight back onto himself. Unfortunately for Mika, he hit massive, put him in a position whereby he had to eat those sharks. He lost out on the DPS, and he got comboed twice straight after, which completely just... That was it for him.
I thought he was going to take it personally.
I did as well.
I have a quick update for us, guys. So as we've said, our anti-cheating team has been looking into all of these guys, and we're happy to confirm that both of these two players are absolutely genuine and legitimate players, so we don't need to actually do the extra check into their accounts. So you have to appreciate seeing players of this caliber playing fairly, and one of them is going to win $20,000 because of it.
Have we had confirmation of if they're actually if Rinnia's in ROTS and if the other clan is with any team whatsoever, or if he's a solo player that's made it all the way through the 1v1 stages?
Well, we don't have confirmation. We have suspicion that Venedrag is...
Of course, Fools, or Finish
Fools.
at least.
Jad, we believe, was Fools. Rhynia likely to be in Rot.
So-
Again, we don't know because we have to speak to these guys individually, so we're going to speak to them after the tournament, of course.
Could well
Figure
be
out
the
what
case
strategy
where
was.
it's the two big titans of the clanning world, Fools versus Rot, coming up against each other for the past 10
The perfect storyline.
I know.
The
For the
perfect
past
storyline.
10+ years, they fought each other consistently in clan fights, with clan wars in the wilderness, and there's a big feud between them, a big rivalry, like any clan, any competitive scene. So everything's up for grabs here. I mean, $24,000 is, but above that, it's which clan, will take home the Demo Mode tournament prize and say to themselves, we beat you.
It's the pride as well.
It's the pride, isn't it? Yeah.
What this comes down to, in my opinion, is all nerves. I have been in a few situations, nothing even close to it. But when you have people watch you play, it is so difficult to perform well.
It changes everything.
Right? When you have however many tens of thousands of people we have watching right now, these guys know so much pressure is on them. They're going to mess up their clicks, their switches. They're going to look like they aren't the experienced PKers that they are. But potentially one of them will remain calm. I think that's going to be the player to walk away with 20 grand.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's so important as well. When you considering the fact that we were talking earlier about switches and game ticks, we're talking people have to make multiple actions within 0.6 seconds. And if you've got a little bit of nerves about you and you misclick, that could be the difference. Yeah, so that could be your shark. Yeah. And we've seen how close these fights get to.
So who's your money on with what we've seen so far?
I think whoever's got that Verax.
Yeah,
if
so
one of those players,
member, I believe it was, not Rinnia, but the other guy.
Yeah, if he grabs the Verax, I think that's going to take it.
Yeah.
And I think it's such a smart strategy.
Verax versus SGS, I mean,
I think
both got their kind of important factors in them.
I think Rinnia's going to take it, just from what I've seen in terms of the fights going forward. But honestly, I'm not 100% on that, but just from what I've seen, I think that's going to happen. So the great thing about Verax is that obviously it rips through defense. But if they're not using the highest amount of defense gear, and if they're not using Protect from melee, they could have done far more DPS if they were using a whip with a defender.
Yes. Very true. Very good point.
Whilst it has its advantages, it also brings disadvantages. They're going to be very susceptible to magic damage at that time. So if they're using hybrid, if he's going to be utilising his attacks smartly, I think that's going to make the difference.
I think the assumption is at this level of the tournament, when it's the final 1v1, is that both hybrids or both PKs at the end are very competent and will both be able to prayer flick or change their prayers and armor accordingly.
Yeah.
So
there's not much skill gap in it, is what you're saying.
Exactly.
And so things like the advantages such as the Verax is what it comes down to, or the Ring of Suffering, for example, too.
I think I'm going to go ahead and say Verax trumps this one. Verax trumps the SGS in this one. I think Rinnia's fallen.
It's such a smart strategy, and I'm so shocked to see only one person bring it in the final 128.
Well, we're about to find out here.
Here we go, guys. We're kicking off.
Jump back into it.
Final 1v1 of the Deadman Spring Finale. $20,000 to the winner, $10,000 to second place. This is a life-changing fight.
And straight off the bat, the decision to use your special attacks so they can regenerate throughout the fight is absolutely crucial. And also, obviously, doing damage right at the start to make the other opponent have to constantly defend and have to eat food and have to be on the backbone and having to catch up is absolutely crucial in this strategy. So currently, the full Verax has quite a good advantage off to a really good start.
Yeah, I mean, they've both dumped, like you said, they've both dumped the DDS specs straight off the bat, making sure they're going to regenerate.
No, Rinnia has full specs still. He's got the SGS.
Oh, sorry. I can't really see the name, but Rinnia's opponent has dumped his DDS specs. He did it on Prey Melee, so it's obviously not going to do that much damage, but he has the ability for it to regenerate throughout the fight. We can see that the Verax is doing a lot of damage off the bat. It's doing significant work.
This is the perfect Deadman setup. If I could buy any gear in Deadman and compete in the finale, you go for Verax, you go for DFS Switch, the offhand to play defensively, you go for Vengeance.
Look at this damage.
I'm just so impressed by the Baraka right now. Every single time Rinnia's gone for a switch, apart from just there. Actually, no, that was decisive. He decided not to change his prayers. The Vengeance would come up. He could do a lot of damage. He's been doing so well, catching every prayer right. Rinnia just cannot keep up. And currently, the Verika has a lot of supplies left comparatively.
It's a very one-sided fight. I did think at the start of this, for completely forgetting that we're using Vengeance, that's going to make all of the difference again because he doesn't have any way to retaliate with magic. And he's stacked now. He's got Verax, high defense gear with very good prayer bonus. He's going to be able to outlast and not have to use as many restores. He's also got the DFS. That's by default. Extra defense, extra strength.
Yeah.
He's doing so well right now.
If you're looking to compete in a future Deadman, at this point, it's like everybody's going to want Verax. Everybody's going to be at Barrows all day, every day. You're probably going to see many more sets of Verax in the next finale.
He just ripped a 35 through Protect from
and a 27 back-to-back.
It's crazy. You can see, and more damage the combo. That could have KO'd him. The combos that we're seeing, again, this is a 1 in 4 chance of the Verax set effect to ignore defensive bonuses and protection
And he's
prayers.
just keeping calm, standing still, waiting, putting up the Venge, the right ticks, making sure he has the wrong prayer up, actually, on purpose so they can make this fight a bit quicker. But the 29 SGS through prayer coming in, that helps a lot. Obviously, healing HP, healing prayer could make a difference. difference, needs a comeback. Currently, free food versus free food, but the Verika has his 3 brew doses left, which is a huge
He's doing
difference.
a lot of damage now. This
wow,
fight
Rinya's
wasn't
come on
This
that.
is really
what?
got turned around.
Rania
Incredible.
might win this.
There was a very good Onyx Bolt spec that's healed
Yeah.
him up, as well as that SGS. It didn't hit very much, but it's enough to get him full prayer, full HP. He's not going to have to touch any food, all those restores, whereas then he has 1 Shark left and 3 doses of Super Restore, 1 Korambuan.
Neither player have any brews left, so they're both working on food. 3 food versus 2 food, obviously, in terms of how much healing potential there is. Rinya's winning in that department. However, he is quite low HP, and hopefully we can see some combos come out
It's literally the same HP, 88
There
versus
we are.
88. I'm pretty
Then he's now
78 versus
out of
88.
food. It's 1 Shark against no Shark.
They have the same. If he eats the shark,
the
oh my
DFS
gosh!
spec.
He's just
That
DFS spec.
That could
No
be
way.
it. That could be the
Versus
deciding
Frey Melee.
factor.
And the Frey going back to back as well. He's
prayer.
taking it home right now. The 13 through prayer once again.
Rinny is
Currently.
desperate now. He's praying protect from. He's praying the hard prayer, trying to redeem his HP off his prayer points right now. And he's the Vengeance also taking the win. And it was a full win.
It is a player in full.
Finish to take it home right now, and they get to have their party in the mansion. They're going to rent the prize money and have a great time doing
That
so.
got so close at the end.
How fast did that just turn around?
That was so
What an
close. You were
incredible
saying it was a
challenge.
one-sided fight. Next thing I know, I look at the
Bam,
screen,
he's gone.
and they're both
Constant
consumed
hits,
pretty
man.
much all their food. Fortunately,
was-
right at the end there, he managed to take it.
So back and forth.
Hey, what?
Yeah.
Nerves of steel, though.
And in all of their fights leading up to it, apart from a couple, were very close.
Oh, the fireworks. Lovely.
A lovely
What
little
an incredible
celebration at the
finale.
end.
This means that, without need for further confirmation, we can confirm that Venadreg was his name. The player for Fools has just won the Deadman Spring
Wow.
2018 finale.
Incredible.
$20,000.
Congratulations.
A round of applause.
Big win for Fools on that one for sure. I may have been wrong coming into who would win that final fight, but I said from the start, throughout, Fools had this one
I
in the
mean,
bag.
the whole week we've seen them absolutely dominating, locking down certain pieces of content, whether that's
Yeah.
Monkey Madness, whether that's Monkey Madness 2 as well, to get the sufferings that really made the difference. And the choice to use full Varrox there was so smart, and it really paid off for them.
Yeah.
And this is the first tournament for Fools to take. Last time we saw Mank win it as a bit more of a solo player playing with some friends. This time, finally, Fools able to defeat Rot in the finale. Rot winning Deadman, of course, in the past. Looking forward to seeing the next one. I actually wish the next one was coming up very soon.
It was
Yeah, 3 months.
It was a perfect storyline to play
With
into
the
that
face of
finale.
Brook right there. He is
Perfect
speaking to his
storyline.
mates. He is buzzing.
He's so happy.
But the great thing is, though, not only have they managed to lock down certain areas, they had great, strong tactics and team play throughout the entire 8 days of the tournament, but they brought a new meta. They have demolished the ranged tank meta by bringing Varrox. Something as simple as 4 pieces of gear has won them $20,000.
It was a surprise to me when I spoke to a lot of the members of Blazers and speaking to Mankt about the Varrox method. They tested it for hours and hours and hours, saying that they've tried against obviously their best PvPers, against full Tribrid setups, and that like 95% of the time the Varrox would prevail and it would come out and win. And you know, I was kind of skeptical. And I was like, I don't know about that one, Mank. And then obviously watching it, fair play. He wasn't wrong, was he?
Well, as I say, the proof's in the pudding, and we've seen it right there on screen in front of our eyes.
A lot of the content creators doing really well here, actually. You know, getting this far. We saw Curtis get into the 1v1 area. We saw Graphist as well. Dalek Cookie right here, unfortunately going down in the first round. But they put up a fight. They came out here today to have some fun, to, you know, do some content and just enjoy themselves. And I implore everyone to, you know, get involved in the next season and join in. Even if you're just playing for the survival aspect, not necessarily to take home any money, it's still so fun and so thrilling to do.
And the great thing about the seasonal that will be, by the way, if we haven't said it enough times already, starting as soon as we finish here, we'll let you know as soon as the servers go live. We'll jump over in camera as well if we're possible to. But seasonal, it's not all about the strategy that you see within the tournaments. It's more about having fun. Of course, there's strategy. There are people that dedicate a lot of time to it, and people want to qualify for the tournament. But ultimately, you could go together with a group of 3 of your friends, maybe even just 2 of you, and that's a formidable force. There's so many people involved in the seasonals
And
that are just
even-
playing for fun.
Even as a solo player as well, we have a PJ timer mechanic that's now introduced.
Yep.
So that if you are solo, you can go around by yourself. You don't need backup. You can just enjoy it by yourself. But obviously, these fights were so nail-biting, so gripping
They were
the whole way
incredible.
through.
Every
so
single one
close.
of them just comes down to either the final piece of food or no food at
Yep.
all.
Yeah.
So a few things just to note with the seasonal. I'll try and remember as many changes as possible, but we were talking about solo players there and just aiding new players in general. one of the big changes that we'll be doing as part of the new seasonal is introducing for everyone starter packs that you can claim daily. Within those starter packs, you're going to get a magic staff, a bow, and a equivalent, I believe, of a mithril scimitar that you can wield at level 1 attack.
Yeah, from the start.
They're not going to be available in PvP. I think we're going to go over to Chris now, who is interviewing the players.
Hey guys, I'm joined here with the on-stage players, notably Bwaka and PB, the representative for Fools. Now, Bwak, you unfortunately fell a little bit early. Now, your friend went on to win it. Are you on comms with these guys? Are you on Discord? What were they like when they won?
Yeah, I was talking to like few of them on Discord, and most of them were on TeamSpeak, and I couldn't use it, so I'm not like with all the hype and stuff.
And what does this win mean for Fools?
Well, we have played like 5 DMM tourneys, and this is the one we won. So we have tried hard, and finally, yeah.
Well, well done to you and the rest of Fools. Going forward in the next Deadman, Rot, Lit, all those other clans will be back trying to take that title. Are you going to be looking to defend it and win the Deadman Summer Finale?
Yeah, we sure are.
All right, well, best of luck to you in the next finale. Thank you so much for playing on stage. We really appreciate you joining us. And good luck in the next season. Curtis, you did really well. You provided an excellent show, an entertainer at nature. How did the tournament go for you?
Way better than I expected. My goal for this tournament was to get into the 1v1s, and we achieved that. I'd like to give a shout out to Lit and the Alliance for getting me that far. Really good fight against Black as well. I was undergeared and had less supplies, but I nearly brought it back, and I was very, very proud, and I think everybody else was as well.
The next season, I can't even get over this. This is crazy. You did so well this tournament. The next season, we have something a bit more appealing to you as an Iron Man. No swapping, right? No muling. Do you feel like you're going to be better next season? Is this your season?
I think this is definitely going to be one of my seasons. I can naturally, probably afford Bruise this time instead of bringing in Dark Crabs. So I think I'm going to enjoy this one a lot more in terms of an even playing field.
All right. Well, best of luck to you again. Thank you so much for playing on stage. Always a good time. Manked, the Deadman winner, or the ex-Deadman winner. I'm so sorry to take that title away from you. How heartbroken are you?
I did better than I thought I would, so I'm happy with the outcome, So close to getting to 1v1, so I'm happy with it all,
You did really well. You consistently do well every Deadman. Arguably one of the best Deadman players in the world. You have nothing to be ashamed of course. Now, if you could make it into that 128, do you think you could have won that?
I think so, yeah. The Varax is very strong, but I think I could have been it somehow. But time will tell. In the future, I might face it, so we'll see.
Now, we've seen some really incredible Deadman streams from you this past week. Are you looking to play the next season, and are you looking to stream it?
Yes, and I'll be getting revenge on every single person that bolted me right at the end there, so good luck to everyone.
All right, well, looking forward to seeing what you can do in the next season. Good luck, Manked. Let's join our casters back on the stage and talk about the next season, guys. So, don't need this anymore.
Yeah,
next season is going live any moment now, right? We have some really, really big changes.
Yeah, Ben was just talking about that. We're seeing some of the most significant changes out of all seasonal this time, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, you've already mentioned the removal of swapping and muling. Anyone that is caught doing either of those will be disqualified from Deadman. Banned accounts, unfortunately. Don't do it, guys. It's not worth it. But other than that, content changes. We're looking at NPC-wide, like game-wide NPC drop tables, completely revamped. So we're going to be looking at supplies, potions, food, runes, all being dropping from any NPC. It's going to range varied on your the enemy's combat level. Lower level NPCs, much lower chance. Higher level NPCs, much higher chance. And bosses have an even higher chance than that. Superior Slayer monsters guaranteed to hit this extra drop table. So one of the things we've always heard about is that supplies, they come in too slow. People don't want to have to focus necessarily on skilling within Deadman. The whole point, as you've seen throughout this tournament, is to kill people. And we want people to be able to go out there and have as much fun as possible. If there's way too many potions in the game, what does it matter? As long as people are out there killing, you're still going to be looking for the armor, for the weapons, for all of the extra utilities.
At the same time, even if you don't want to PK, you can play Deadman mode as a survival-based game.
That's
obviously, it's pardon?
Yeah, that's going to be me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a new fresh server, a new economy. You have an XP cap every day, so you can log on, catch up with everyone else.
Yeah,
no one can get too far ahead. You can play casually if you want to, and just enjoy it because there's nothing like the beginning, starting from scratch again, competing with everyone, racing to get, like Toves said in his video, the 10K from the stronghold or elsewhere, and trying to get the starter kit. I believe is probably the meta now. Going to Lumbridge, a 30-minute server immunity is going to be applied to the game. So once you log in, you've got 30 minutes. Every single player.
Even if you start playing Deadman tomorrow,
there we go. So you've got 30 minutes to grab your stuff, start leveling up, get some money together, so you can start getting the all-important supplies to either survive or start killing people, which is what it's all about.
So with Deadman, as you know, we could easily just leave it be, let it run its course, and players will enjoy it. But we want to consistently improve. We want to make something better every single time. We don't want to make you watch the same thing or play the same thing season in, season out, right? So what we did is we got in a call with some of our best Deadman players in the know, one of them being Ian, and you were able to help contribute to the next season. One of the biggest things was those resources coming into the game.
Definitely, it'll change the whole atmosphere altogether. The economy, obviously, that any PK or all player needs is like if you want to get supplies to be able to train efficiently or to get the weapons that will give you the advantage over other players, it's usually impossible to get them because everyone wants them really. No one wants to go do the boring skilling stuff. But now that you've, as you said before, triple fish, I think when you start fishing, you've got multiple. The runes also in the shops are also more obtainable now. Things like the Tome of Fire have got lower drop rates. You guys have done a phenomenal job, and hopefully, like you said, we'll see consistent improvements for the next constant seasons, and it just gets bigger and better every time.
It's a tough job balancing feedback with Deadman. We have one end of players like people like Meked Up Mage and all these guys on the stage, and the people that made it into the top 128. These are the veteran Deadman players. They all want a certain version of Deadman. Then we have the tens of thousands of other players who can't quite play at that level, but still want to enjoy it. For those players, we introduced the cap for everybody. We have 500k XP cap a day. Magic, we've actually just increased to 750k, so new meta's in there. But essentially, if you want to play the next season, you don't have to play for 12 hours a day.
No.
You can if you want to. It'll help you. You'll make some extra money. You'll train your other stats. But if you want to just play for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, hit your caps, have your fun, call it a day, you can still compete on a reasonable level.
And then obviously if you get into the top 2,000 during this season, the high scores, you could be competing for a chance for $20,000 as well. And we could be shouting your name from the stage.
Imagine. All you need is a set of Varaks.
All you need is a set of Varaks, and a Ring of Suffering.
And to clarify, again with the rules, with banning swapping and muling, this means that essentially players will have to make their own money. If you want to play Deadman, this is the fairest season we've ever had. You're not looking at any disadvantages to anybody who has money in old school and tries to swap over. You've got to make it yourself.
One of the biggest concerns about those changes, obviously, a lot of people were criticizing it, saying, you know, if you completely eliminate swapping in Deadman mode, then you're going to get rid of all the people that bring in the resources and the supplies to the game because they do it to swap. And then you face this huge problem of everything being like super expensive and people won't be able to afford to PK. But obviously the changes that you made to the drop table was to counter that out and balance everything. And I think you've done a great job. I'm looking to see how that goes forward. Like you said, it's going to be one of the fairest seasons, probably the fairest season. It doesn't benefit you having money in the actual
Are you going to be playing then? I
am.
I'm playing the next season.
Again,
I'm playing the next season. I can't compete because it would be weird if I handed myself the trophy and the 20 grand. You know, that would be all right. But I'm going to play.
I would love it though, wouldn't
Play on mobile, Chris. Instead of having your notes, just bam. You might be able to win on stage.
If somebody runs into me in Deadman, just, you know...
Do you know what's so great is like just seeing the level of excitement in everyone's face when we talk about the Deadman season changes that are coming up. But to me, I still feel like we're just touching the surface. There's so much more that we can do. Old School in itself is a game that's driven by the community and by community feedback and what the people want. Deadman is the exact same thing. We go to the community, we listen to them. What changes do you want? Okay, we see that you're not too happy with it being the same as before. Let's do something completely new. This is the first time that we've really gone out of our way to shift the meta up completely. This is like new strategy level. What can we do next? What is going to be next? What's the next season going to offer? And that's the best thing for me about Deadman is just that, just like that, we can change it.
And as we said, we are only growing Old School as a game. We are literally just doing this, right? We have so many new players coming into the game every single day, and a lot of them watching Deadman we've seen have no idea what they're looking at. We need to better that. We need to allow them to get into the next season, noob or not. We're going to give them starter packs. Now these are going to help newer players, of course, as we mentioned, magic range and melee packs to help you train throughout the day. But eventually you'll get to the point where you'll learn, you'll follow maybe some guides on YouTube, watch your favorite streamers, just play the game mode. And eventually you won't need to collect those. You can be out there on your own, killing bosses, and out there you might even make it in the top 2,000, you might even win the thing.
It's hard for us to really put across how amazing and how different demo mode is from the original game, because you've got old school RuneScape, which is a very traditional, grindy MMO, but demo mode increases the experience rate, takes a lot of that boring training out of it, and you just get straight into the action, and that's what it's all about. So actually,
looking
right
behind
now,
us now, yeah, the Deadman season, summer season, is actually live. I'm not going to look behind because I'll end up cranking my neck. But as you can see here, a lot of people. There's a swarm of people going towards.
All
the
trying to get
Stronghold.
their 10
Here we go.
Yeah.
GP. All looking the same. They wanted to get out of Tutorial Island
fast as possible. Get that advantage. I want to see Lumbridge as well, where the training packs are. Look at the heat map. Oh wow, so still, a lot of people on Tutorial Island still stuck trying to get through it.
Very early very early minutes of the server, and you can see like a trail of people that are running.
So
straight
yeah,
away
you
towards.
can see, you've got the people in Tutorial Island, you've got the people in Varrock that are running west to get themselves the 10k, you've got the people in the southeast Varrock training their thieving up to get their teas.
You've got Gnome Stronghold, everyone's running agility off the bat.
They're
and
all
they have to
running
walk
along
around
the
the
logs.
map.
Now is the time to log in. If you're a viewer wondering if you want to play the next season, play day 1. You won't regret it. We do have 6-hour community coming in a week, which will help you out a lot. If you can't afford to play right now, that's perfectly fine. But right now, you have 30 minutes immunity. Nobody can attack you. Run around, collect your 10k, maybe kill some monsters in the dangerous zone, get your starter packs.
Another thing to mention is there are safe zones too. It's not dangerous everywhere. If you're in a main city or town, such as Varrock, such as Lumbridge, and certain banks, then you will be safe and immune from being attacked, unless you're in the wrong position in the bank and they can get you from outside. So just be aware of that and be careful.
If you are completely new to Deadman and you want to see all of the rules, there has been a lot of things going on. This has been going on for a couple of years now. We've obviously made huge amounts of changes. The link that's being displayed on the screen right now, osrs.game/play. It's going to tell you a little bit of how to get involved with Deadman. There's also a news page on our main website that you can check all of the changes on as well.
In addition to that, as we've mentioned earlier, we're going to be hosting Robert, or our Robert, one of the most popular Deadman creators. As soon as we finish this stream, he's going to be jumping in. He's probably already in there playing Deadman.
Yeah,
and if you need some helpful tips, just follow this guy.
Yeah, I mean, like this week, for example, he works full-time now, but he's played every single season demo tournament, and he took a week off work so he could spend every day grinding to get as far as he possibly could. Unfortunately, he didn't make it into the 1v1 round, but regardless, I'm sure he had a great time, and he's going to really appreciate you guys going over and saying hello, because he's a lovely, lovely guy.
Yeah.
And it's important, you know, everyone that streams on Twitch is probably one of the best ways to learn about the game. What's so great, right, about the era that we're in at the moment with online gaming and the availability of streams. Go check out the RuneScape directory, see your favourite streamer on there. The chances are they're doing Deadman Season. And if they're not, you should probably say, well, aren't you doing Deadman Season? Because these changes are lit.
Unless they don't want to play Deadman. I mean,
everyone should want to play Deadman.
I'm not even kidding. I'm playing the next season. I want to learn as much as possible from it, figure out what people are complaining about, what they're not complaining about, better the season as much as possible.
That's awesome.
Old School is all about community feedback. They have entirely designed this game mode and this tournament, and next tournament is only going to be better.
Will we see some videos from you, Chris?
I might.
On Deadman mode?
I
would love to see some.
DDS go, baby.
The Robert strategy coming in.
I'm a little worried because if I leak my name playing Deadman, are people going to be scared to kill me because I'm a J-mod, or will they hunt me even more?
Probably.
I would definitely hunt you. I think I might actually. I think I'm going to start playing the season just so that I can annoy you.
That's what I want to see. I want to see an Iasa versus Chris Archie finale. That'd be amazing.
Let's make it happen.
Right. Well, that being said, guys, I think it's about time for our closing words. So it's been an incredible finale. As always, the 1v1 could not have been more perfect. So close, so clutch. Fools taking home their first ever Deadman victory. $20,000 going to them. It was $10,000, I believe, going to Rot in second place. Nothing to be ashamed of.
No.
An incredible performance by the players on stage for us. And as always, it's been great.
Yeah, all those fights coming down to the wire. My prediction.
Or the Verax coming into play.
It came true.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know?
I want to say also
I'm very happy with that.
to everyone at home as well that's tuned in and watched this exciting finale, because it's just so much fun and it's such a big deal for so many people. So yeah, thank everyone that's tuned in and
our beautiful audience
and everyone here today as well.
guys.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Woo! Give it up. These guys, we do this tournament here in Leicester in ESL's UK studio. Every time just about, and these guys come back every time. They have such a great time. We give them merch, they love it, they watch everybody on stage, they're so loud and passionate. We really do appreciate you guys. In final words, guys, the next season is now live. Now is the best time to ever be playing Deadman. If you're thinking about it, give it a shot, right? And that being said, yeah, don't go anywhere. We're hosting Robert. He'll be taking you through the next season if you need any tips. And I think that's all we have to say.
Yeah, it's been fantastic.
Thanks
you very much,
guys. This concludes the Deadman Spring Finale 2018.